When I was a kid growing up, I had this friend. Anytime we got a new game or something, whether it was a video game or we played a new game, if he won the first two games when you're still learning the game, which is it's clearly not an indication of who is better at it. You're trying to figure out the buttons, and basically the first two games are like a figure it out button mash fest. If he won those two games, he would just put the controller down and go, I'm retired, never playing again. He did this thing where he would never give somebody a chance to actually learn the game. He would retire 2-0. And I got to be honest, I'm very tempted to retire at the player period props, because after hitting that Rupe Hintz plus 340, to come right back after that and hit a Noah Dobson plus 500 with the two shots in the first period, I think I got to retire. But I am glad that I was able to use that road team who went down 2-0 coming home, coming out with all that juice. You saw that in both of those games last night. We were able to benefit by taking the over on Bobrovsky saves. Look, we just got through that one by the skin of our teeth, but as they like to say,
winning's winning.
Along with the props, trickle-down snakeonomics, we talk about it for a reason. You saw it in both of those games. I talked about Svechnikov going up to that top line. He had 2 points. The guy who got removed from that top line and dropped down to the third line, Seth Jarvis, he ended up with no points. So you got one guy going up, he gets the points. Another guy going down, they taketh away. And then in the Florida game, I said we got to see that Sam Bennett situation during the day on the Patreon. Everybody knows, and hopefully you guys even know this at home. They bumped up from the third line to the second line Anton Lundell, and he was playing with two pure shooters in Verhaeghe and Matthew Tkachuk, and he was the high-priced stirring straw assist that I talked about the previous day. It wasn't great that Henrique didn't hit, although he almost did on one of those plays, but a plus 250 assist. Then if you combine that with a point for Verhaeghe or a point for Tkachuk, and the overshots on goal for those guys because they're pure shooters, you would have cashed a big plus money parlay. We nailed a plus 550 on the Patreon. That is enjoying the fruits of a trickle-down snakeonomics sniff. Now, here on Friday, we got a couple of games to look at. We have one of those scenarios, a couple of these scenarios where a team is coming back to their home ice. Those are the types of games where I know you guys want me to take a shot on those first period player props. If there's a game that you should take a shot at, you guys know what it is. I think today's going to be a great video for all you Dans out there because I'm coming straight from the pizzeria. I don't like to force it on days when it's not good to, but I think there are picks on this slate. I don't mind going to get some garlic knots and a chicken roll at the pizzeria and ordering a money line here and a money line there. And we'll start with the best home team in the NHL this year, the Colorado Avalanche. Everybody gets tickled pink if there are any Avalanche bets on the table. If there's ever going to be a day that the Avalanche are going to come out flying, the first home game, this is the first time they started on the road. I forget in how many years. Was it like 2019 or something like that? So after those first two games in Winnipeg, coming out, you have to imagine they're going to be shot out of a cannon on their own home ice. And if you want me to take yet another stab at multiple shots in the first period, I got it between two. It's either McKinnon 3 shots or a guy I've been seeing pump shots left and right. And that's actually the guy I'm going to go with. I'm going with big Val Nichushkin, 2 shots in the first period. And we'll see, because remember, we're up $850. So we'll put 100 of that on Val Nichushkin, 2+ shots in the first period. And why is that? Because we can go straight to the Nathan McKinnon over 4.5 shots on goal for the game. I really like this in that game. They've done a great job somewhat stifling his shots up in Winnipeg. But remember, if you are a novice or something like that, when you're on your own home ice, you have the benefit of last change, meaning the other coach has to declare who they're sending out on the ice, and then you get to send who you want on the ice after that, meaning they send a line who you want McKinnon to be out there against, you send out McKinnon. On the road, you can't do that. You have to send out McKinnon, and then they will send out the appropriate line to shut him down. So he will see more advantageous looks in this game. So give me the over 4.5 shots on goal for Nathan McKinnon. I really like that one. And then I'm going to take the plus money point props on Mikko Rantanen and Cale Makar. This has got to be a game for the big three. McKinnon, Makar, and Rantanen. I'm doing the shots for McKinnon, the over 1.5 plus money points for Rantanen and Makar. And that's how you wrap up the Avalanche to win. That is my Pizzeria Raw Dog. The Colorado Avalanche to win. It's not a great price, but at least in this case, like in Dallas, I hated seeing that price. At least we know we're getting Mile High Denver. They can't breathe out there like Arnold Schwarzenegger in Total Recall that first game in Colorado. And they're the best home team in the league. Although they did lose to Winnipeg, they got destroyed by Winnipeg. But as I like to urge people all the time, never use regular season stats and try to say, well, they did this 2 times. This is a completely different game. Are you watching some of these games? Are you watching Toronto, Boston? You think they wouldn't have blown that play dead when Marchand and Bertuzzi are just hooking and tripping each other up and down there? During the playoffs, they let that kind of stuff go. It's a different brand of hockey. As I've said many times in the past, the preseason is to the regular season what the regular season is to the playoffs. It's a completely different brand of hockey. And anybody who's getting like all jiggly and excited for all the this is expected. Up until game 5, where you know eliminations can occur, that's when clenched ass cheek starts. All these high scores you're seeing, you can celebrate all you want. It's round 1 after game 5 and then on. That's when the true clenched ass cheeks start. So they don't start today. They don't start game 4. Game 5s and on. That is when the unders are really going to start to roll for me. Everybody keeps asking. The bump it up unders, the under 6.5, the under on this. Game 5 and round 1 up, but really round 2 and on. That is when they truly start. So give me the Colorado Avalanche in that game. And then something that you guys know how I feel about, and that's the Nashville Predators. They play a style that is conducive to playoff hockey. They played well enough to get a lead in game 1. They almost won that one. They did not. Vancouver lost Thatcher Demko. I'd say Nashville won that one pretty comfortably. And now they're going home for game 3. And to me, the difference, it's just, you're getting Casey DeSmith again. Nashville at home against the Vancouver Canucks, who haven't really looked all that great, and there's going to be Casey DeSmith in there. Look, the Canucks are a good team. They got those growing pains going on right now. Can they pull a great performance out? They probably can. But with the price we're getting on the Predators, I told you guys before the playoffs started, one of my round 1 bets was not only Nashville to win the series, but Nashville to be up 2-1 after 3 games. So I'm going to stick by that, and I'm going to stick with my Nashville Predators call. So that's my second Pizzeria Raw Dog pick of the night. I'll go with the Nashville Predators at home to beat the Vancouver Canucks. And then the storylines are starting about Elias Pettersson. I love him as a player, but I told you they just left him to die on that line, and apparently in the practice reports, they still left him on that line. So unless they switch the lines back or they try to stack the top line during the game, I'm gonna do something a little ballsy. Normally I do something like this on my own because I know a lot. The same way you guys love betting on the Avalanche, you're not gonna like taking the under on half of a point for Elias Pettersson. All I know is when a guy's struggling and then he goes on the road, it doesn't make things easier for him. So if he couldn't do it in Vancouver, I'm just going to take a half chance that he's not going to be able to do it on the road where the environment won't be as friendly. So I'll take the under half of a point on Elias Pettersson. And then lastly, the easiest bet I'll ever have to make once again, give me the over 2.5 goals for the LA Kings. The only difference this time is because they're on their own home ice. Give me the big plus money over 3.5 goals for the LA Kings. They went over 3.5 in the first game when they couldn't have played any worse. They went over 3.5 in the last game in an overtime win. I saw what Skinner let in last game. Maybe Edmonton tries to play a little differently. There's always a chance that the Kings can just try to play a lower scoring game, but I'm hoping Edmonton forces them to be more offensive, especially what I've seen out of the Kings defense. Immensely disappointing, but at least that gives me more confidence to put some money on their offensive production. So give me we'll do, the over 2.5. If there's anything else you want to combine it with, and then the over 3.5 at plus money on its own. And that's a pretty pizzeria-filled day. That's a full delivery order. You have everything. You have the full pie, half pepperoni, half plain. I like leaving half plain because nobody ever complains. You ever had that friend? They always want something on it. And then what happens? You go, nah, just make sure the half is plain. And then the whole plain half is immediately gone. The magic topping that everybody thought they wanted is always what's left at the end. This is something you can contemplate over the weekend when you're ordering your pizzas. Don't screw the guy who just wants those plain slices in there. Anyway, good luck to you. Better luck to me. Do yourself a favor. Subscribe to the YouTube channel here. Click the notifications. Do the algorithm helping activities such as liking, commenting, subscribing. Tell your dad. Tell that other guy. Tell a random person on the street potentially. And if you want my picks over the weekend, or you want any of my updated parlays like those Lundell ones I was able to blast yesterday, then you can come to the Patreon. It's patreon.com/Andy Francess. I always leave the link down below in the description of this video. It's in the first line every single time. Or you can click my face on the $100 bill that pops up at the end of the videos. But if not, then there's no peer pressure. Don't worry about it. All right? If not, I will see you guys on Monday for a fresh round of NHL playoff sniffs. Take it easy, and thank you for making it to the end of the video. Goodbye.